Amy, so great to have the opportunity to talk to you. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Toronto.
Awesome. I love Toronto. I'm in Venice, California.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Well, we're getting the Venice weather today, so I'm very happy.
Awesome. Very
yes,
cool.
yes, it's all good. Congratulations on this documentary. I was completely blown away with it. And I had the opportunity just a few minutes ago to talk to Kate, and she's lovely. But I said to her, I go, she wins the award for the most tenacious, strong person I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what.
I mean, but that's what attracted me to her. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't do damage, but she just does. The most horrible things will happen, and she'll often try to turn that into something to her benefit when she can, but she'll somehow find a way out, including making an audition tape as a wrestler and getting on a TV show. She was totally like homeless at that point. So, she absolutely, we were just on another thing together. And look, the world should not be so hard. It should not be so hard to be a musician, an artist, it should not be so hard to be a filmmaker. She has ideas that there should be unions and everyone should be guaranteed a living wage. Her manager should not have taken her money. It shouldn't be like that. Absolutely. But it is many people this happens to. Unfortunately, her case is not rare, though rarely does someone do that on camera. For her managers to do that while we're making a movie is
exactly. And I want to ask you, because I wanted to know initially how you connected with her, because as a documentarian, you have an idea how you want to present her. You have no freaking idea what is going to happen.
I don't think I even knew how I wanted to present her. I met Kate. We had at one point we shared the same hairdresser.
Okay.
And Julie was making Kate's hair this kind of pink to match these vaginas at Coachella. Okay. So, and she was really trying to get it right. And she's like, "You have to come and film this. You have to meet Kate." And I'm like, "So," and then there were these gigantic vaginas on the stage, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll come and meet Kate." I mean, all the documentaries I've ever made, someone says, like 90% of them don't go, and I don't make them, but a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, there's these cool guys making this trans magazine in Brooklyn, and they're trying to find someone to make a movie. We hang out with them and see if there's a movie." So we did a PBS series. That's how they happen. Kate is living with a hairdresser who's fabulous, right? So she's so taken care of, and clearly I don't have the same luck. But
great. Come on.
But that's how we met, and we always, we always tell everybody. That's how things happen. We went to TV companies to do docuseries, more reality stuff. We went to meetings, someone agreed to make it, and we passed. Yeah. And then I think we kind of went, oh, we have a lot in common. That's not what we want to do. And it helped us figure out, at first she was just going on tour and we went with them. And yes, we did not know that she would end up on a TV show, that her manager would steal her money, that, and that's why documentaries take a really long time to make.
Right.
We probably almost shot for 4 years. And Kate filmed too. And that's how I've made all my movies.
Yeah.
You need to let people be just themselves, not the vibe of other people being around them. How do they feel about their lives, about their dreams, about, their aspirations when they're by themselves? And Kate also filmed when we just weren't allowed in certain places. And she's so great. She's like, "Fuck you guys. I'm making a documentary. You won't let Amy in. I'm filming. I'm sitting the camera here."
Yeah.
And it was really helpful,
Well, I can imagine how much footage, like you say, 4 years, that's a lot of footage you had to go through.
No,
is there anything though, Amy, look, she's very candid on screen. Obviously we learn everything about her, everything. But was there ever a time when you look back at one of the tapes or whatever and you went like, or she said, "Don't use that," or was she was completely open to you using everything she shot?
I mean, the two things on that. One is there was a point where her life was awful.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be filmed. So like the big concert in the movie, I wasn't there because she didn't want anyone to ask her a question,
right.
And she was in a lot of pain, and it would be in a really weird place to end the movie, because Kate and I had this talk. There were a lot of movies about women in music out there, Amy, Nina Simone, and Joplin, and everybody dies this terrible, tragic death, usually from drugs.
Right.
And we're like, for young women, is really that the choice? Like, if you're going to have a career in the arts, you're going to suffer so badly. And so we were like, maybe we could make a movie and be really honest about the difficulties, but maybe that's not the outcome. You know, we don't want to romanticize tragedy. We wanted to have a conversation. We love those movies, you know, but maybe we could somehow engage in that sense. So those were early conversations that we had had. So, you know, we knew that we were going to make somehow a different movie than that.
Yeah.
And so I think making the movie helped Kate feel better about her life, because it was like, people are actually interested in me, and I have something to do today. So she talks about it, you know, in part being like something that helped her believe in herself. But when the movie was finished and going to come out, she fought it coming out.
I'm sure
she did not want it. No, and she really didn't want it to come out. She was scared for her life.
Yeah.
And we had to pass on some unbelievable opportunities, and it was very difficult. And then it feels horrible. You have a movie that, so when she saw it, she loved it. She hugged me. She told me I got her. Clearly, everyone around her. It's a very good movie for Kate. Love Kate. You can't wait to see, you know, listen to her music and buy her music. But it was really hard to have your main subject to want the film to come out, and you feel like you're going to hurt them if the film comes out, because Kate describes it really well. Like, she finally was starting to be in the light, and she didn't want to go through all that shit again. Yeah. You know, so it's just, no one thinks about that. You know, I didn't think enough about that. Right. How you bringing a movie out on a person affects that person.
Well, also, and I'm just curious because I want to know, and you can tell me yes or no, but after this was released, and now even wider, what happened to the manager? Like, I'm so glad you outed this guy, because he's not the only one that does this kind of shit.
I mean, a lot of the things that are happening to Kate in this film are happening to lots of people.
Yeah.
He's very successful. He's representing a big artist. I mean, there's someone in the music business that's in the film, Kate Craig, who says people are seen to be badass and cool for doing these things. Yes. You know, it's
the way. Yeah.
You know, and yeah.
I just don't get how people can take advantage of other people and get away with that. It just, to me, makes.
I mean, it probably happens in most businesses.
Yeah,
I mean,
not just music, of course.
Yeah. But it is, when you watch it on. I mean, that he happened to do that while we're filming. Is so you think at least you kind of hide this stuff, and Kate later learned that it happened with other people before her, and you know, it's a difficult relationship. They're become like your family, your best friend, but it's a monetary relationship. You're very dependent on them for both your sense of self and your work. And I think it's a very, very complicated. And by the way, he helped me make this movie. It's very complicated. I'm serious.
No,
it's very helpful.
Yeah.
So it's very. I mean, the point is, life is really, you know, not black and white. Nothing like as you think it is. And but I do feel like we managed to make this very girl power movie about a woman who really sticks up for herself, and, you know, instead of depending on the music labels, fun stuff, you know, reach out to her audience, gets funded, keeps making music, and, you know, has found a way to, you know, exist independently. And I think it reminds me of Thelma and Louise. Like, the end of our movie, I feel like the same feeling.
Listen, I would jump in a convertible with her any day, no problem. Right. So lastly, I have to ask you this. So after making this, you finished it, you've spent so much time with Kate, you really get to know her. How did that change you?
I mean, as an artist, I had never made a music film. You know, and so using her songs, that she's writing stories about what's happening to her as part of telling a story, was just so breathtaking as an artist to get to make a movie in that integrated way. It was crazy. I mean, I think it made me a better filmmaker. I filmed most of the movie, so you know, the fact that I could actually even do that, you know, was like kind of breathtaking. You know, it's taught me. You know, we qualified for the Oscars, you know, but we don't have a big marketing machine behind us. So it also made me realize that there's only so much you can do independently. And so our new movie we're pre-selling. So, you know, it made me like change what I think is possible and how I should work,
That's
because it's well loved. And, you know, so, but yeah, I don't know. I think I have a lot of similarities to Kate. You know, this is probably the most personal movie I've ever made. And it was a way to make a movie more about myself, but I didn't have to make it about myself.
right.
I mean, and I don't think it's as interesting watching people make a film as it is watching a musician make a song, tour a song, you know, redo a song. Like there's something really moving in the cinematic experience of that.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a way to make a movie about the struggles I've gone against, but work with Kate.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, like I said, you did a fantastic job. I loved
Thank
it.
you.
I really was just loved it from beginning to end. And like, you know, I'm just so happy that Kate is in a good place now. And I think that's the most important thing, you know, so it's all good.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So we know things are tough in Canada, and we hope a little riot girl will help kick off the pandemic summer.
I hope so. I hope so for sure. Nice talking to you, Amy. Thank you so
It's
much
very
for
nice to
today.
talk to you.
And have
Thank
a
you.
great weekend. Thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.